and new.
Yeah, it's pretty close. And you know what?
How's your chin doing?
He was kind of ornery. He was kind of ornery like Grandpa. Grandpa learned all his coaching stuff from him.
He tells good stories.
Well, he gets it from you, because you tell such good stories.
You what? Your grandpa was drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa.
You haven't known this for your whole life?
Don't tell
I've
me.
heard it before.
That's like the most
Can't believe that. I figured they had the wrong guy.
We could have been cheeseheads.
We could have been rich!
We could have been from Wisconsin.
No,
we could have been a cheesehead.
not back
Not back then?
We could have been rich.
That
We could have been
sucks.
from Wisconsin.
Smallest one on our team.
You wouldn't have been
Get
at all.
drafted by a
Oh, that's
team.
true. That
They
is so
got the
true.
Wrong Sorenson. There was another Sorenson on that team, and he was a great big guy. I figured they had the wrong guy. And then I found out later I'd never dropped a pass I got my hands on, and they wanted a wide receiver. And I was a spinner on the track team.
Up until 2002,
I didn't find that out till
your
way
grandpa
later.
held the record at Utah State for the longest touchdown from scrimmage.
Really?
Dad, remember
Yeah.
that touchdown?
99 yards. Then that Curtis that played for the Rams, they had the ball at the freaking 1 inch line.
1 inch line?
Yep, he caught a pass and ran. And guess who the quarterback was? Dean Stringham.
Wow.
Dean Stringham threw Dad on a little slant. He caught it, ran 99 yards. Longest touchdown.
Is he
from
still
scrimmage.
alive? Is
No.
Dean still alive?
I thought he died, or did Barbara die?
Barbara died.
Okay, did he have Alzheimer's?
Grandpa,
He's
Grandpa.
trouble.
smile.
I thought, I think.
I talked to Maynard's
Larry.
That's
mom.
gross, dude.
Yeah, he died. I talked to Maynard. Mom, so did Maynard. I
Yeah.
talked to Maynard's mom. And I
It's
told
not
her.
weird or gross
It
anymore.
is weird.
I mean, it's weird, but it's not gross anymore. It's kind of funny when he does that. Grandpa.
Well,
Grandpa's so funny.
Everybody,
Grandpa!
if you look at what's inside of it.
Ow!
Why you got blood on your shirt?
oh, he's got a little.
Oh, he's pulling out his teeth again?
Yeah, but he's
Scared of
making
kids.
it funny. Oh my god. He's actually baby before without his teeth.
She's his best thing.
I gotta wash him off. I'll brush
got
him off in the toilet.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. You know it. I'd like to see that one.
Oh no, she's had gas all day.
What are you talking about? Had to flush him up.
Oh, not in the corner.
Grandpa,
Hey,
I know
listen,
I saw you go to the sink.
Let me ask you a question.
I won't
Let me
kiss
ask you a question.
tonight, just to
When I look like that, are you still gonna love me?
Yes.
Okay, just check. Because that's what I'm gonna look like.
You don't look
With no teeth.
What's not to love?
Seriously, this guy. Yeah.
The only thing he didn't do for me in my whole life was have me on the ranch. I missed it by that much.
No, it was a little longer than that.
How much?
67?
Like that much?
Well, that's
You
a
guys
year.
left in 67.
That's a year.
Yeah, but Mom, in the world is this big. I missed it by that much.
Well, do you know what's wrong with him?
Yeah, I wasn't born.
Well, a
in
lot.
He was born
I know,
in
in the Utah water.
I was born in Utah water. Huh?
Yeah.
You're pretty funny.
He's such a kid.
Tough guy.
Oh, also, to go back
So
to
are
another
you
story.
going?
Here's a story for you.
You're going
Grandma
to Tooele on
is out
Sunday
in the garden,
to the
right?
No, they're just gonna
And
come
she's
up
picking
after.
weeds and
Yeah,
she's
they're
doing all
coming
this.
Monday. They're coming
Looks like you're
Sunday.
looking at
I
that.
had a
all
pet
of
deer.
them are coming Sunday.
And that pet deer came
I
up
got
behind
two
Grandma,
cows.
ducked its head, and
Oh.
BAM! Hit her right in the butt.
Knocked her face right down in
Yeah.
the dirt.
She gets
Yeah, I
out
know.
spitting dirt. They just,
Sat there fighting.
Grandma, is this
Yelling at
true?
Water deal over there.
huh, Grandma?
I don't know
What?
what.
Is this true?
You're pulling weeds or doing something in the garden, and the deer.
Oh,
Boom!
I ate dirt. I want to tell you, and I didn't do it because I wanted. and he knocked me flat on my face, and came up and it was all, you just didn't have your mouth shut. You didn't plan it was happening.
Deer.
Man.
And then the deer, now listen, Grandma had wood floors in that house. And she just got done waxing.
Yeah, by hand.
By hand, on her hands
No
and knees, wax.
electricity.
Wax on, wax off. Wax
Yeah.
on, wax off. And then Pat and Scott come chasing.
Roped a deer.
They roped the deer and started chasing it. And the deer went in the front door and across Grandma's floor, and it's because it's wet.
Everywhere he went.
Screeched all
Well-
the way across and out the back door it went. And those
No,
two
it
boys
didn't. Hey, they got the deer in the house, and she started screaming at the kid. Well, the kid started chasing the deer. Well, that deer got all shook up, and he slid into that wall. They turned around, and he come back, and he slid into that wall. Then he slid into that wall again.
Yeah, and guess what? Then he got away with Dad's brand new lariat.
So
Yeah.
we didn't care that the deer, the moral of the story, we don't care that the deer was in the house sliding all over Grandma's brand new floor.
He got
We're
away with
mad
the lariat.
because he
Yeah.
got away with Grandpa's lariat. A rope.
I didn't have any big rugs to lay on it either. And it showed.
And then bad things happened after that.
Bad things happen after that.
Oh, somebody shot the deer.
We had
Yeah.
So why didn't you get the lariat back when they
You
shot
got
the
the
deer?
lariat. You want to hear it? Okay. So
Did
then
they take
during
down
here,
my naughty
listen.
pine, Dad?
Here's another
remember.
story.
Have you been
Okay.
to the ranch?
So during
I
deer hunt
have.
season,
Did they take down
Grandma?
my naughty pine?
I don't even know how she made it or where
I
they
don't
got
know.
it. They put an orange something, a sweater or something on the deer,
We didn't.
right? So the deer's up. They leave the deer home with the dog, and somebody comes onto the property and they see the deer, probably from a good distance, and they shoot the deer. Well, then they get down there and they realize, holy crap, this is somebody's pet. So they just leave. Well, the dog went around and around and around and just ran a circle. And Grandpa says that the dog had gone around so many times it made a path where the deer had been shot and killed. And then they come home and they look, and here's this dog. The dog went crazy. Grandpa had to put the dog down because the dog was crazy.
Well, the deer would go out into the hayfield, the dog would go with her. Then when the dog come in behind the house, the back porch to eat, the deer would come with the dog to eat. They were real friends.
And that stupid deer, I had a tablecloth on my table out there where I had the milk pans and stuff, and he ate it. Like it was a billy goat. I've never in my life. It was linoleum or that oil. What is it? What is it called?
Linseed.
No, the cloth was.
Vinyl?
Well, it's a kind of. What did they call it, Dad?
I don't know. Sometimes it's just kicking in.
No, this isn't Sometimers. It's a. You can buy them now.
Lanolin.
They're oilcloth.
Lanolin. Lanolin.
They aren't lanolin.
No.
Yeah, but you can buy them.
Oilcloth.
So they had they had
Oilcloth
pet
is what
deer.
they called them in
They
that
had
day.
dogs. Grandpa created his own little lake for him, the little pond behind the house.
That
And
was
then
pretty
your
good.
uncles thought that was really smart.
Your brothers?
Yeah. So they threw like bottles into it and broke bottles. So you weren't allowed to swim on one side because you might step and crack your feet and cut yourself.
Wow. Smart idea for the deer.
And then they built a ramp or a thing that floated,
A raft.
a raft, I guess.
And they floated, and it was Captain Ahab out on the.
And then we had a beaver, and it was so big it got stuck, and we couldn't get water to come down the garden
In a
because it was
tube.
in it. And we had to get him out, and he weighed 500 pounds, I swear.
A beaver?
Well,
It wasn't really
So
500
bad,
pounds,
that
okay.
Well, here's
She's
the-
exaggerating.
Put him in the this Red Rider.
Way to walk.
wagon.
He was big as the Red Rider.
Yes, yes, it was.
All right. So then, your uncles had this thing about going and catching snakes.
Oh, come on.
Kind of like Michaela. She's a snake whisperer.
You are?
Oh yeah.
No, she
That snake we
caught
saw the other day, Michaela would have caught it if She'd have been there.
Well, we tried. I have got a
So
video
then-
to show you
It's
then.
a-
The
water
rattlesnakes, though. These are rattlesnakes.
Was yours a
So,
rattlesnake?
Yeah.
Above,
We don't kill water snakes.
above the
Mantle.
mantle, they had a jar, and
30
they
some.
put the rattles in there when they kill these snakes. So, one day, Grandpa goes to feed the cows and stuff, and he reaches in the oat bucket, and he reaches down there, and he's like, grabs
Damn
this-
kids threw a damn rope in there
Damn
again.
kids threw a damn rope in there, so he reaches down to grab that rope, open, and it was a snake. And Grandpa hates snakes. Let's just say that snake went through the roof,
It was a blow snake, a big blow snake.
and Grandpa hates them. So he threw that thing as
Oh,
hard
man.
as he can, and then he cussing the kids, and they come around it, and guess what? They didn't do it. There was a snake. Got in the oat bucket. So then he made sure that they covered the oat bucket. They didn't let the snakes in the oats.
He
Grandpa
thought
hated snakes.
he didn't have that.
Yeah, he thought they pulled a joke on him. But they lived a life that they didn't have. You know Grandma's house, that wood burning stove. Grandma cooked on that. That's why she burns everything. She got electric stove, and she burns everything. She cooked on that stove. They didn't have at 10 o'clock at night, at 8 o'clock at night when the sun went down. They didn't have electricity.
Did you have lanterns?
Lamps.
Oh, lanterns, I do.
Lamps. They had
One
those
of them's
lamps.
75 years old. It's purple.
Yeah, she's got them in her house.
One of them, somebody sold the other mate to it out of my house while I was gone one weekend to church.
Some of your relatives.
No, it wasn't. You dumb head.
Oh,
You sold the lamp? Who'd you sell it to?
I didn't sell anything.
Who'd
I
he do?
still got it. The other one was stolen by somebody
Your
coming
TV.
through the ranch.
Oh, through the ranch.
Yeah, they were sitting on the stove. That's where they stood, right up on that top stove. And
Kind of
one
like
of
Little
them
House
was
on the
missing
Prairie.
when we got home.
was that the? Okay, and I know I don't know the.
Rubble?
I know I don't know like
Now
the
it's not
year
so far
thingies.
along when we lived over
Yeah,
there.
when it was a
But
dirt
was
road,
that,
they were
like,
driving a
normal?
Model T.
Was that normal?
Kept going
What?
north,
When my mom grew up,
like from where you guys are.
Your
at,
mom-
you keep
they
going.
everyone else had electricity at their houses,
your
right?
mom didn't have
Where was
electricity
the
growing
rat?
up.
Where is
I know,
that?
but most
From
people
where
did,
you
right?
go.
Yeah, and you
You
know what your
go-
mom
you
did
go-
for her milk? She didn't go to the grocery
go
store. She went
east,
out and milked the cow.
And then you
Right.
cut across,
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
it takes you, you go east, I don't know how far, and then you turn and go
Where?
north,
The
and
road.
then you go east again, and then
Here's the cool thing
it's
about
north.
the property
but
that they own.
It's on the Montana border.
To this day, there
we were in
is
Montana.
there
Charlton
is an
County,
Indian-
Montana.
there's an Indian circle.
Teepee.
Great.
Teepee's- yeah,
Teepee
it's
ring.
sacred ground. It was right there. It's just right down from the road, but the circle's still there. From
They've
Indian
got
land.
a lot of teepee rings they've discovered up
Some of
in
the best
Montana.
photos I have are of him when we went back that time. And he's sitting there just on the fence. I got one, and he's got his foot up on the fence, and he's just looking out.
Who,
Got
Grandpa?
my- Yeah. And I got a picture of him.
For the reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some good pictures of that too.
I'll be honest with you.
Oh, that was fun.
I can count on one hand the number of times that I've seen a tear in his eye, and that was one of them.
Wait, was that place that we went
I
to
never
for the
had a
reunion, was
tear
that the
in
ranch?
my
Yeah.
eye.
Oh,
You
that
hated to
place.
leave that place.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe
What the hell are you
everything
talking
that
about?
happened to us, but
Dad,
you hated to leave
You
that
left
place.
and didn't go back for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You refused to go back for almost 20 years.
And I probably wouldn't have back then if I known Obama was coming along.
How many head of horses do you have?
40.
They're
How many
wild. They're not his.
They're wild.
They're still there.
They're still
They're
there,
still
but they're
there.
being sold as wild horses.
Yeah, I know. But how many acres do you have?
100 acres of hay.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how much
That's
Taylor
Michaela's
We had
friend.
1100 acres.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to ride the fence line?
And we had the Joe Smith. How much?
Oh, depends.
How much was this Joe
Okay.
Smith?
How old is Pat and Scott when they were there?
They went to the first grade in Lovell when they were 7. But, well, they
Krista,
didn't
come here.
have a kindergarten
Krista.
in Lovell at that time.
Hey,
so
and I
they
got
went to Byron.
Okay, but you lived on the ranch.
Yeah.
The point I'm getting at is they're 7 or 8 years old. They
Well,
wait.
they were 8 years old
Okay.
when we came to Tooele.
They wait. Okay, so they're 6 or 7. They get up in the morning at the butt crack, not like you sleeping until 10 or 11. They saddle the horses, and they go ride the fence line to check the fence line. And it took you what, 2 or 3 days?
What were they checking on the fence line?
Make sure that the fence was up.
What was it you checked at work to make sure it didn't go any or it
Yeah.
didn't move?
Yeah,
But
riding the fence
6 or
line.
7 years. Now, can you imagine Grandpa?
They had their own
They had,
ponies.
they had their own horses. A 6 and 7-year-old kid, loading them up on the horses and taking them out for 2 or 3 days at a time to go ride the fence line.
Okay, well that would be like you
No, but
getting
funny,
gas
they
and getting on the
destroyed
4-wheeler.
It's fixed.
They were-
It's all good.
No, I'm
Dad
saying
sent
going
them
around the
ahead
fence line
to
on a
check
4-wheeler.
some brush and
That'd be
stuff.
fun.
It was the heat of the day, and he gets over there. He's coming with a truck with some spare horses. All right. He sees these kids up on that hill, and they're standing there with rocks in their hands, just out
Throwing
there
rocks.
as wild Indians. They're throwing rocks just as fast as they can pick one up off the ground. And they have a rattlesnake. Oh, boy, they're not going home without that rattles. And they had to kill him with the rock to get, and Dad had warned them, never ever cut those rattles off until you have those heads down and they're dead, 'cause they'll strike again. And so they didn't, and he says, "What you doing?" "Well, we're just getting this rattlesnake we got waylaid."
I had a little jar above the
Right.
mantle on the fireplace,
That was
and I kept the rattles off and threw in there. And I must have had about 20 or 30 rattles.
30.
You
It
hate snakes.
Huh?
You hate snakes.
Yeah,
You
but-
mean Pat and Scott
I hate
had
it,
snakes.
boy.
I had one in there. I killed one. The kids are in the bedroom making our bed, and the kids were out in the sandbox, you know, where it was out by the porch, and they come running in. Walt and all the kids were with them. There was half my nieces and nephews there, and they says, Mom, come on, there's a rattlesnake out here, you gotta get it. And I says, "Oh, you're kidding me." And I says, "Don't be giving me a bunch of raspberries." "We're telling you the truth." And I thought, well, I better go look. At least it wasn't going to be that long. Got there, and just as I got to the back door, that rattlesnake just went through those little weeds, and I could see it, and I could see those rattles clicking, and I hear them, and so Dad's irrigating boots were sitting there, and I put them on and put them up to here and got the shovel and went out there and kept hitting those weeds till I found it. And he finally took a whack at my boots, and then I knew where he was, and I just cut his head off, and then I pulled him up and got his rattles, and Dad.
I'm sorry, that's where I tell the kids, get in the house, you're done playing for the day.
Hey, tell them the story about the bear. Cooley.
Cooley?
Yeah.
Did Krista get tired?
No, she's just.
Haven't I ever
Chris,
told you a bear story?
Hold on one sec.